Okay, so this is a different experience for me. I'm actually doing this tonight on my little GoPro Hero. Got the little Hero 4, and I actually like the Hero 4 better than the newer one. I also have a Hero 7, but the Hero 4, I don't know, it just seems to be more handy. You can plug your external mic in directly without having to have that adapter. I like the batteries better. It's almost like they took the Hero 4, instead of upgrading it, they downgraded it. And I mean, I like the Hero 7, but the version 4 just seems to be a little handier. But anyway, so we're going to talk about here tonight. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. Forgot to mention that. I'm going to talk about the keel beam. I mentioned in the last video that I was getting ready to put the keel beam down. And so, camera around here. Hopefully you're getting all this. Put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing. And, you know, I just lost my screen here. So, are we recording or not? Okay, so anyway, the screen went blank there for a second. Like I said, I'm still getting used to this Hero. But anyway, this is the piece here that I scarf cut the other day. And I've got it laid out. I'm going to have to bond this piece to this piece after I get this cut down to size. This is still in a part of a full sheet of plywood here, and so I've got to get this sheet trimmed to size, trimmed to the length and the width and the depth that I'm going to need it, and then I'll do the scarf cut on it and then get them bonded together. So anyway, that's just a quick little video tonight. And really, like I said, I'm just playing around with my GoPro here, trying to get used to using the GoPro because you know, it's just seems like the video quality is just so much better. But anyhow, thank you, and more to come. Behave and be blessed, and I'm going to be gone for now. Okay, I'm back. I had to pause there just for a second. I realized while I was making that other little short clip, I looked over at my table there and realized that I had a bunch of junk laying on top of this template. This is the template, by the way, and that is the template for the keel beam. And so, like I was saying, once I get this pattern drawn out and I can kind of get this roughed in, I'm not going to cut it to size right away because I've still got to do this scarf joint right here. And so all I'm going to do is just cut just kind of to the outside of that line right there and just kind of get the general shape, and then we can cut it and get the exact pattern transferred over later. But like I said, you know, we'll try to minimize the amount of waste there. Come on back to me. Still there? Come on back to me now. I don't know why this GoPro does this. This GoPro, the screen goes blank here every so often. Like I said, I'm still getting used to it. But anyway, what I plan to do here is, like I said, I'm going to transfer that pattern over to this plywood after I get the scarf joint done here. I've got my resin and my Cabasil from totalboat, and by the way, they're not sponsoring me. It's just who I chose. Cost was the main consideration. It's the same stuff, just a little bit cheaper than West Marine. And West Marine's a good product, you know, don't get me wrong. They make very good products, but I'm trying to hold costs down. But anyway, that's what I've got going on. And once again, just seems like whenever I make these videos, it seems like it's always at the end of a very long day, and I'm tired. And this is a project that will wait for tomorrow. It's about 10:30 or so at night, and I'm ready to call it a day. God bless you all, and thank you for watching, and may the Lord keep all of you safe. Until next time. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to show you the keel beam here. Now this is just roughed in. I've got it cut out, got the basic shape cut out. And as you can see right there, I'm getting ready to do that scarf joint. Now this piece looks a little bit wider. I'm going to cut it and trim it down to final size after I glue these two pieces together. I've got the total boat system here, and I'm going to be mixing up the resin. I'm not going to go through the whole thing on the video because there are so many videos out there on YouTube now where you can see that. But basically what I have to do is I have to first mix up some resin, get these kind of wet down a little bit, just let some of that porous wood soak up some resin, then add the thickening agent. I will flip this piece over here, and we'll mate it with this piece, and then walk away overnight. So anyway, when I get done with that, I will get back to you. And again, thank you for watching. More to come. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I've got my mask on. I've got these wet down with resin. Getting ready to add the Cavasil to this. Use these little paint pans from Home Depot. They work great. And so we're going to get this thickened up. We're going to get these two pieces bonded together. We'll be back in a little bit after I get all this done. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a learning curve here. Nothing major. Just have to learn how much of this stuff to mix up. I did 3 squirts of the resin. That was actually a little bit too much for this joint, but that's fine. This is a learning curve. We'll get it down. Well, I've got this bonded together now, and so the next order of business, I'm going to put an ice chest on top of these 1x4s. So I put the wax paper down because I don't want the 1x4s to stick to my work. And then we're going to fill that ice chest full of water. That'll put about 80 pounds of pressure on it. It's about a 55, 60 quart ice chest. And I'm going to fill that ice chest with water, let it put that pressure on these 1x4s, and then we'll just walk away and let it sit overnight. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll show you how this turns out when it's all set up and dry. Okay, so the ice chest is filling up. Water, 8 pounds a gallon, a little bit over 8 pounds a gallon. Get about 10 gallons of water in that ice chest, and I'll put about 80 pounds of pressure on that joint, and like I said, we'll just let that sit there overnight. Fortunately, I have worked with this Cavasil in the past. Still have my mask on. There still might be some little particles in the air. I'm going to get my fan set up here in just a minute and get the airflow going so that the air is blowing towards the open garage door right there, and hopefully we'll just get the rest of any of those particles out of here. But anyway, like I said, I've worked with this Cavasil before. Worked with it in aviation, doing composite repairs in aviation. I think I just got the camera a little close to my face there. But anyway, we used to call it crank out and Cavasil, and it's probably the exact same stuff. We used to use it for bonding honeycomb cores on wing leading edges and other composite repairs. So fortunately, I did have some experience working with that stuff, and knew exactly, what it needed to look like when it was done. I knew what consistency I was looking for. You're kind of looking for that peanut butter type of consistency. Like I said, I did mix up a little bit much, but that's fine. We'll get through the learning curve there. I do have 2 more pieces to make like this, and of course I also have to do the same thing for the skin, for the outer skin when I get to that point. Now, I'm a little ways away from that yet, but again, plywood comes in 8-foot sheets. I'm building a 13.5-foot boat, so I will have to bond some pieces of plywood together using that scarf cut method. And anyway, I'm just looking at my ice chest right here. You probably cannot see that in there, but that's filling up pretty quick. It's almost there. And like I say, we want to keep some pressure on that joint, and until it sets up. I'm just going to leave that overnight, and then hopefully in the morning, if I did this right, if all goes well, I will have a bonded roughed in keel beam. I do have my pattern laying up on the workbench right there. It's behind the camera.
and I'll lay that pattern out, trace it out, and then we'll cut it to the final dimensions, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. Anyway, thank you for watching, and more to come.
Okay, the epoxy has hardened. Of course, I had this little kind of a little golf ball sized glob right here. It kind of set up and fired off before these little smaller pieces right here. As you see, this is the leftover that I had. I talked about it earlier. Mixed up a little bit too much, but you can see how hot it, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but you see how hot it gets right there. It distorted this plastic. This one's a little thin plastic paint trays from Home Depot. It actually got hot enough to kind of soften up that plastic a little bit right there. So this stuff, like I said, I've used it before. I've used this in composite repairs on aircraft, and it's the exact same thing. We used to call it crank out and cabosil because the stuff that we use in aviation, it actually had a little crank that you turned, and it was a premix. It premixed the resin and the hardener, and you actually literally turned a crank, so we called it crank out and cabosil. But for some reason, Boeing quit using it. They stopped recommending that in the maintenance manuals. As a matter of fact, they took it out of the maintenance manuals, and this was back in the 90s sometime. And I mean, this stuff worked great for, like I said, potting in honeycomb cores and wing leading edges and closeout panels, so forth and so on. But I don't know why Boeing disallowed the use of this stuff. But you know, it's still used in boat building. It's still used in the marine industry, and it's still a very good epoxy. I don't know why Boeing disallowed it. The only thing I can think of is maybe Boeing engineers felt like maybe it was a little bit too brittle, maybe it's prone to cracking, maybe it has something to do with an airplane operating at high altitude and with extreme temperatures that you don't see in a boat, on a lake. So anyway, we're just going to let this set up overnight. I've got about 11, 12 gallons of water in that ice chest right there, and it's sitting on top of that joint right there. And we'll just keep that weight on it overnight, even though it is, for all intents and purposes, it is set up now. But we'll just let it cook overnight, and we'll take it off in the morning first thing. But anyway, that's the roughed in keel beam. All I have to do, like I said, is get my pattern laid out and get it cut out and get it trimmed final size. And then of course I got to make 2 more of these. I'm going to have the keel beam, and there's going to be 2 parallel stringers running on either side of the keel beam. And because I want to make this boat just a little bit stronger, I am building it for going out in the bays and then the inshore marshes down on the Gulf Coast. And I do want the boat to be able to handle a little bit of rough water if I should have to ever encounter any rough water. And so gonna beef up the structure just a little bit. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. And I do appreciate your watching, and that's it for this segment. As always, I always shoot these videos in short segments and then just stitch them all together, make one nice long video. So anyhow, I will see you guys tomorrow. Behave, be blessed, and praying for all of you. And just remember, just be safe out there. And we will see you tomorrow. All right, well, it's done. This is one piece now. Turned out very well. I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. I have a piece here now that I'm going to make my keel beam out of, and I have my pattern. Actually, I have my pattern all rolled up right here, rolled up around this empty coffee can. And I've got one hand here on the camera. So once I get done shooting this little short video here, I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I'm going to go ahead and transfer that pattern, and then tomorrow I'll get the jigsaw and very carefully make my cut and produce my finished keel beam. One thing I am going to do, since I'm using a little bit heavier wood, what you'd normally use, you see a lot of the stitch and glue boats that they use 1/4 inch Morandi plywood or some other type of marine grade plywood, and it's a little bit lighter weight per sheet. Now this is 3/8 thick. I chose this because I wanted this boat to be a little bit sturdier, but there is a little trick that I can use to lighten this up a little bit, and it is to cut what they call lightning holes in the wood. We do that in aviation, in aircraft structures. You see these holes cut through aluminum structure all throughout the aircraft, and that's done in order to save weight. It's to lighten the airplane. And I'm going to do the same thing here with this 3/8. I'm going to take and cut holes, and probably some oval shaped holes also in various places throughout the structure, and just take some of that weight out. Because remember, like I said, one of my goals is to make this boat as lightweight as possible and yet as strong as possible. And that's one of the ways I'm going to try to achieve that. And even if I do cut these holes, it won't compromise the strength of the wood. It'll still be strong enough, even with the material removed in certain places. The only place where I won't do that is, of course, right through here. You know, if I put lightning holes in this piece, it's probably going to be well away from that joint right there. Don't want to do anything that would put stress on that joint. So anyway, once I get this cut out, well, we'll just pick up where we left off. And thank you. Have a blessed day. Or actually, it's 10:30 at night, so have a blessed night. Have a blessed evening, folks, and thank you for watching. Okay, folks, one more time here. I just laid that pattern down on top of the plywood here. That's what the keel beam is going to look like. And once I get that traced out, I'll get that cut out tomorrow. And like I said earlier, more to come. Well, okay, that is it. That is the keel beam. I finished cutting that out this morning. And you can see the splice joint right there. And that's just boom. And that's just some extra epoxy that got on there. I don't know how that got there actually. But anyway, that is it. That's going to be the general shape of the boat there. And that's going to go right down the center. And I've got 2 more of those to make. They're going to be a little bit smaller because of the V bottom. Got a little bit of some paper towels taped to the back end there just to protect that corner. And so the boat build continues. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine tonight, and I was wondering to him, we had a little Bible discussion there right at lunchtime, and I kind of wondered, you know, since Jesus, you know, well, the Bible, first of all, let me back up a little bit. The Bible never really comes right out and says that Jesus was a carpenter. And I know we see all these bumper stickers on the back of people's cars says, you know, my boss is a Jewish carpenter, or so forth and so on. But the Bible doesn't really ever say that Jesus was, in fact, a carpenter. But I do think it's safe to speculate, it's safe to assume that he did work with his earthly father, Joseph. And you know, Joseph was not his biological father, he was his earthly father. But I think it's safe to assume that he did work with him in that business. We do know that Joseph was a carpenter. What did carpenters build in that day and time? They didn't build houses, you know, because the construction methods that we use to build buildings and to build houses now, those methods, they didn't exist back in that day and time. And I think over in the Middle East, they still build houses out of rocks. And because they have, you know, that's one thing they have plenty of. They have plenty of rocks. But anyway, so what did they build? Well, they probably built farm implements, plow handles, yoke for oxen, that sort of thing. Probably built carts, and I would expect that they built boats. And of course, when we look at the life and times of Jesus in the Gospels, we see, Jesus spent a lot of time around fishermen. He of course grew up, near the Sea of Galilee, up there in Nazareth, and so I would say that carpenters built boats and built carts and built farm tools. So anyway, where I'm going with all this is there was a time when Jesus got into a boat. They were going to go across the Sea of Galilee. And of course, that's when the storm came up, and Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat, and everyone was afraid that the boat was going to sink. The waves were kind of crashing up over the sides of the boat and everything. Jesus is back there sound asleep. I kind of wonder, and again, this is just a little bit of sanctified speculation here, a little bit of a holy speculation here, but I kind of wonder if Jesus, when he got into that boat, recognized it as one that he and his father Joseph had built, and knowing his earthly father's skills, knowing Joseph's skills, he knew that boat was sound. He knew that boat wasn't going to sink, and so he was comfortable enough to go back there and go to sleep. Of course, he also knew that God the Father was not going to let anything happen to him. It wasn't yet his time. But these are just little things that I just kind of wonder about from time to time, and but also the message that I want to share with you tonight. When you have Jesus Christ in your life, that's a boat that's not going to sink. That's going to be a sound relationship, and it's going to be a relationship in which you don't ever have to worry about that relationship coming apart. And just like Jesus wasn't worried about that boat coming apart, you don't have to worry about your relationship with Jesus Christ coming apart. And it's sound, and the Lord will never let you down. It doesn't mean we're not going to have trials and tests in life. Just because you have Jesus in your boat doesn't mean you're not going to sail into storms. But you can always count on our Lord Jesus Christ to be rock solid. Folks, that's all I have for you tonight, and I'm gonna get this uploaded, and then there'll be more to come, as far as the boat project and everything. So we'll see you next time. Behave, be blessed. I'm praying for you. Pray for our country, pray for our leaders, and if any of you have any needs, prayer needs, put those in the comments down below. I want to pray for everyone who has financial needs, dealing with illnesses, dealing with family issues, whatever. I just pray for all of you, and just know that I love you all, and praying for you. And until next time, like I said, behave, be blessed, and time for me to be gone. See you next time.